Welcome to Scorched Earth. This is going to be a general reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of April. If you don't know what your Moon or Ascendant signs are, have a look in the description box below because there's a link down there that will help you get your natal chart for free. And then you should come back and watch the videos for your Moon and Rising signs because they might give you a better idea of what's going on with you overall. What else do I have to tell you? Started doing extendeds this month, but only for the signs so far that I feel like need them, and that's been Taurus and Virgo thus far, possibly Pisces, although I haven't done that one yet. So until I get to the end of the video, I'm not really going to know whether you need one or not. If there is one, it'll be in the description box. If not, then I'm going to start doing them properly, like for all the signs as of next month. So there's a thing. Thank you for your continued support. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. Hope you find something here for you. Thank you for the likes and the comments, most of the comments, not all the comments, frankly. The likes, the shares, subscribes. The messages. I've had some really, really wonderful messages. It's been so nice to connect with people on that level. And your donations, as ever, like, keep the lights on. Thank you so much. So, Scorpio, feels like I haven't connected with you for such a long time. Let's have a look and see what April holds for you. I have 3 cards for Scorpio, please. That's the first one. It's the 10 of Cups. It's come out in reverse though, I think. I'm going to leave it in reverse. We'll look at the clarifiers and see if it wants to be reversed or the right way up. 2 more cards for Scorpio, please. In your current energy, you have the Star. That's the card of Aquarius. Interestingly, you might be dealing with an Aquarius. If not, not to worry. And what's coming towards Scorpio? Whoa. High Priestess energy. I like it. That's the card of Pisces. But it's very compatible with you. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Hermit, which is the card of Virgo. It talks about going within. It's something that Scorpios do very well anyway. Let's get some clarifiers and I'll work out whether this 10 of Cups needs to be left inverted or righted. Let's give these a quick shuffle. So, tell me about the 10 of Cups, please. Ooh, the King of Cups. Interesting. Let's get one more card for that. I only usually pull 2 clarifiers, but there's 10 of Cups. Okay, I'm going to leave it inverted because I think that's the way it's meant to be. We've got Star, please. Ooh, 2 cards have drifted out. We've got the Hanged Man, another card of Pisces, and the 7 of Pentacles. Interesting. In a bit of a reflective mode at the moment, Scorpio. What about the High Priestess? What is that here for Scorpio? 2 of Pentacles, more internal stuff. Oh, and the Wheel of Fortune. That's interesting. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the Lovers. That's the card of Gemini. It talks about making a choice often. Or it can be about, you know, some sort of romantic partnership. Oh, itchy nose, itchy nose. Right. So the first card that you've got is the 10 of Cups in reverse. And the reason why I feel like it needed to stay reversed is because of the 2 cards, 2 of the 3 cards that came out to clarify it. Right. So if we just step back a second to the 9 of Cups, right? I've been seeing that recently as as a card of the self, right? It's called the wish card. And this always bamboozled me because I never understood why it was a 9 instead of a 10. Because what is better than having your wishes fulfilled, right? Literally nothing. But it seems to me that the 9 of Cups talks about the ability, A, to make yourself happy, be a whole, complete person all by yourself. And B, knowing what it is that you really, really want, right? As an individual, as a person all by yourself, completely regardless of anybody else's, wants or feelings or needs in the matter, right? So the 10 then for me becomes that point where you come together with someone else who is resonating at that frequency too, right? And notice that we've got 2 sets of crows there sat underneath the 10 of Cups. You come together in that energy with someone else. Now, because it's come out this way around, it feels like a rejection of that, Scorpio. It feels like a rejection. You have rejected, because this is the recent past, you have rejected the notion that being together with someone else will make you happy, right? You're like, nah, I'm sticking it out by myself, right? It feels like, in fact, you have consciously blocked it, right? Maybe you've been getting to know someone and they're just getting a little bit too much under your skin. They're getting a bit too close to the soft meat underneath your armour. And you kind of pulled the curtain down on it. And I understand why you do that, Scorpio, but it is very limiting. And you, of all the signs, are one of the few signs who shouldn't limit themselves in that way. Particularly, you've got this secondary form that's depicted on the tarot as the eagle. You start off as the scorpion, but as you evolve, you turn into the eagle. But you've rejected it. You've pulled down that iron curtain, and you're not willing to share that internal space with someone. Now, the 3 clarifiers that you got here were the 9 of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the 5 of Cups. Right? The 9 of Pentacles is a card of self-sufficiency. It's a card of independence, and often it refers to things of a material nature. So it's looking after your wants and needs. It's getting your bills paid. It's making sure you've got enough money to do all the nice things that you like to do, get your grocery shopping in, that kind of thing, right? But it's you taking care of that all by yourself with no one else. It's another 9, right? It's another card of doing it for yourself. And it's followed swiftly by the King of Cups. Now, ordinarily, this is a card of the open, right? It's the culmination of the cup suit, and it speaks about somebody who is emotionally mature. It speaks of someone who is open and receptive, like ready to give as much as, receive often. But I note in this depiction here that this moon, which makes an appearance a bit further along, right? You've got your back to this moon here, and this cup in your hands is kind of covered and cradled. It's almost like you don't want to give it to anyone, which is normally it's kind of the opposite of how I would usually see this card. But it is Scorpio, the King of Cups, right? That is, it's like you've got a cup, but you're not really willing to share it with anyone. Yeah? And then we've got this 5 of Cups, and I feel like this 5 of Cups, which speaks of loss and grief and focusing on things that you have lost without noticing that things still do remain here. It feels like an emotional lockdown that you've indulged in here, Scorpio, right? For whatever reason that you've done it. And I would say ostensibly it's to protect yourself. It's kind of like a conditioned response with Scorpios. You take quite a bit of kind of wheedling out of where you are. Ooh, which deck do I want, actually? Not that one, not that one, not that one. Oh, whoa, we're going straight for the Deviant Moon. Okay, let's have a look. See what's going on with your Scorpio. Fuck. Right. Why is Scorpio like that? Magician. Scorpio, down. 3 major arcana. That's interesting. So at the bottom of the deck now, we've got the 9 of Wands, which talks about putting up defenses. Often good boundaries, but it feels like the walls to me with you. And why you've done it are these 3 cards here, 3 major arcana: the Magician, the Emperor, and Temperance, right? Now, those are cards of Aries. No, not Aries. Gemini, Aries, and Sagittarius, right? Had a bit of a mind fart there, sorry. So if those signs are people that you've been dealing with, then all's the good. But if not, if they're just energies, then what I see is someone who knows that they're wounded, but isn't really mad keen on doing the work to fix it. I'm sorry, Scorpio. I can only say what I can see here. You know, it's like you stick your finger into situations, just like this Magician is doing here, you know, to test the temperature of the water. And when it gets a little bit too warm, you just scuttle away. Yeah. And this Magician's concentrating on his coin. This Emperor, he's got his foot on this little devil down here, right? But he's turned away from it. It's like he doesn't want to look at the things that cause him to behave like that. And they're all looking at Temperance, which is the healing, you know, would be the result of the work. But none of them look particularly impressed with what they see there. Right? Not at all. Okay. It seems off the back of that you've maybe got some shadow work that you need to do, but maybe you don't. Maybe you're just happy being like this. That's, you know, and that's you. That's entirely your thing. But you do have this cup that you want to give to someone. You're just choosing not to do it. And I noticed that this Temperance card has got an angel on it. It's got those big wings at the back, but those wings are armor plated. Right? Protective again. But then we come to your current energy, and that's the Star. Like I said, it's the card of Aquarius. But it's a card that talks about healing, just as Temperance does. Right? It talks about profound healing. It talks about wish fulfillment often. But it talks about trust too. Because in the Star card, you know, there's this character that is following its guiding star, right? It's following its intuition. It's trusting that this star is going to take it to the right place. And this crow is absolutely bathing in water. You know, there's just water pouring over it in a torrent. It feels like a slow realization that it is starting to dawn on you, Scorpio. An understanding of how you work, like perhaps an understanding that you locking down and trying to, you know, control the shit out of your own emotions here, like working out the reasons why you do that and why you keep yourself so closed off to the possibility of happiness alongside another person, you know? Because Scorpio is a deep sign. It's probably the deepest in the zodiac, I would say, right? And although you come off as not having emotions, bizarrely, you're the sign that kind of feels them the most. You know, they're deep emotion. And water in the tarot, when depicted, talks about that emotion. Now, this crow here, you know, it's being doused in it. Maybe you're starting to realize that actually you want to reach out to someone, maybe a Virgo as well, because we've got that Virgo there. But if not, that's just an energy of going within. There's a star on that card as well, interestingly. just at the bottom down there, right? It feels like you've been having a bit of an epiphany, Scorpio, about your life and the way, about your understanding of yourself, you know. But you're coming to a point where you're changing what it is that you want out of your existence, right? We've got the Hanged Man here, which is, like I said, the card of Pisces. But we also have the Seven of Pentacles, which is, for me, a card of looking at your situation, right? Such as it is, in whatever sense, and trying to work out if you want to continue doing things the way that you have always done them, or whether it's time to change, whether it's time to pull your energy back from that particular way of doing things and find something new. Now, the fact that these two cards, you know, this card about, you know, assessing your current situation, and this one about really submitting to a higher knowledge than you've been accessing and changing your perspective, underneath a card that talks about trust and opening up and following your own, you know, guiding star, whatever that is. It seems like you're having a bit of an epiphany. I mean, maybe, I feel like a lot of people are having epiphanies at the moment, you know. A lot of people are assessing their lives and trying to work out if they want to continue, you know, when the lockdowns are lifted, whether they want to go back to everything being the way that it was before. And you seem to be having quite a profound moment here, where instead of locking these emotions down and not responding to them, that you're actually wanting to bathe in them, you're actually wanting to pour them all over you. Look at that Hanged Man and the Six of Wands. Yeah, that talks about victory. It's the card of Leo. Whoa. Emperor. It's the second time the Emperor's come out here now for you. Okay. Come on, one more card. There we go. How interesting. We've got the Five of Cups again. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Seven of Cups. There. Which is a card that talks about having lots of choices, right? It talks about having lots of options. That's how most tarot readers describe it. But for me, it's a card of kind of facing your demons, really. I look at those characters, but you are this little one down here, hiding behind this rock. It's like you're understanding the fact that you have demons, and you're finally getting to the point where you're feeling strong enough to face them. Yeah. Because so far, you know, you've got so far through your existence pretty well, being an Emperor archetype, you know, kind of putting your emotions to one side, nailing that fucking lid shut, and being very, very much in control, just as we have here, right? And it's worked very well for you, you know, Six of Wands. It has done its thing. But ultimately, you find yourself in a position of loss, grief about a loss. Yeah? Something is missing, and you're focusing on that thing that is missing. You know, here's that fucking dark water behind it. You know, it's really deep. Looks really, really deep. It feels like you're starting to gain an idea of your own strength and not be afraid of plunging into those depths. That's really cool, Scorpio. I approve. Now, what's coming towards you is the High Priestess. And like I said, this is a very compatible energy for Scorpio, because although it's the card of Pisces, and yes, you're both water signs, you know, theirs is quite an ungrounded energy. It's quite dreamy. It's quite gentle in some ways, as opposed to yours, which can be quite savage at times. But it's compatible because of its depth, right? So whereas Scorpio runs deep internally, there's a kind of expansive depth to Pisces. It's the daydreamy aspect of it, right? And here's that moon. Here's you sat on that moon, And moons for me talk about the intuition, yes, or talk about intuition rather, but it also talks about your subconscious. It talks about the things that are going on underneath you, underneath your emperor front that you put up with everyone. Right? There's that moon again with you. And unusually for a High Priestess card, it does, like the Magician card, have all 4 elements on it, right? So whereas the Magician manifests into the 3D anything that he wants through his intent, and you've got that. There's an idea with this card that you can turn that internally as well. It's a realization that you have all the tools that you need, not to bring things into the 3D, but to go within and analyze what's going on within you and make some progress, actually. Because what you're wanting to do is start to achieve some balance. The Two of Pentacles is a card, like I said, of the internal. It's about balancing the internal space. And I've got to say, he looks a little ham-fisted, this one, compared to other Two of Pentacles. It's like you're not really sure what to do with it. But you do have the tools to do it. It's just your fear of it, I feel, has probably been what's pulled you back from it. Now, the last card that you've got to clarify there is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is a 10. It's numbered a 10. So it is, in effect, an ending of sorts. But I feel like it's kind of like passing a checkpoint, It's usually depicted with the 4 fixed signs on, which you are one, but they're all reading books. It's all about an acquisition of knowledge and leveling up as a result. Now, yes, the Wheel of Fortune does talk about fortunes improving, but I feel like that's a sideline thing, because that's what happens naturally when you start to balance out your internal and your external, because then you're resonating at the same frequency inside and out. Right? You're learning a lesson here about balancing yourself out, because I think that you are sick now. I think that you're getting sick of feeling this loss, feeling this regret. It could even be guilt, actually. I feel like it's staining your interior, and it's just not sitting comfortably with you at all. But like I said, when you start aligning your energy properly, good things naturally gravitate towards you. And I feel like there's probably more to be gained in your external existence than you currently credit by working out what's going on with you internally. About this Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Swords. About the Wheel of Fortune, please. Wheel of Fortune. See, it's more cards of going within. We've got the Page of Swords with the Moon. Maybe there's somebody that you need to speak to about this. These 3 cards here that I've got to clarify the Wheel of Fortune are the 8 of Swords, the 8 of Cups, and the 4 of Swords, right? So the 8 of Swords is about feeling trapped, and it's also a card of self-sabotage, and I've already spoken about that, right? We've covered that. And we've got the 8 of Cups, which it talks about having moved away from things that don't fulfill you emotionally, right? Taking a conscious decision to go and find things that actually do. But here I see a fear of vulnerability. There's this big congregation, and they're all knelt in prayer, and they're all looking the other way. And there's this chap here who stood naked and vulnerable, and just not feeling like part of the congregation, of the society that's going on around. There's quite stuck energy with both of these things. And then we've got the Four of Swords, which talks about taking a mental break. It talks about taking a step back. It can often indicate meditation, and it might be that this is what you're being asked to do, you know, take up some meditation. It's not just all lentil weaving hippies that do this, you know, there are tangible benefits for your brain in doing so. And I feel like you kind of need to do it, because there are some energies that are keeping you stuck, and if you clear them, the Wheel of Fortune is going to come in to give you a hand. But then we come to this Page of Swords and the Moon, right? And notice how that card there has this same elk creature on it. Yeah? This thing that kept you stuck. Something keeps you stuck internally. It's down here. You've got to look for it. But more than that, potentially you need to speak to somebody else about it. You know? Maybe there's somebody who can help you understand your internal space. Maybe there's somebody that you need to reach out to explain what has gone on in your internal space. You know, because I can't help but feel it's all linked to this. It's linked to this loss. It's linked to this grief. It's linked to this guilt or regret about a situation. You know? But in April, you are making great strides with yourself, right? This is a level of self-improvement, and it's not coming a minute too soon, Scorpio, because I don't know if you've seen any of the other videos, but certainly for the fixed signs, there's a sense of you, us all, in fact, needing to level up and deal with some stuff really rather fast, because the other signs need to lean on us for our strength. You know, it's happened with Taurus, it's happening with Aquarius, it's happened with Leo already, to be honest, and I feel like Leo of all the signs is the one that's sat ready to assist the most, because they went through that 2 years of absolute fucking torture where everything that they knew and they loved was taken away from them, you know. And then there's you, Scorpio, and you are capable of giving so much and limit yourself so much that you're not there yet. You need to, well, you're the other side of the corner, you know, you're the other corner, the other three signs kind of doing their bit, and it's time for you now, because the rest of the zodiac do need to lean on you somewhat. And your purview is emotion, yeah? It's moving forwards with love and not out of fear. And the need to kind of strip off some of this armor or pull down some of these walls, it's coming now for a reason. It's coming. Whoa. Got the Tower and Strength, right? The Tower is your card. Strength is the card of Leo. But when the Tower comes, it's about pulling down those walls. It's about pulling things that you thought were, you know, gonna last forever, that you could rely on. And for you, that is probably your internal structures, you know, those ones that you hide behind, you hide your feelings behind. But you are strong enough to do the work, and it seems like the universe is telling you that it's time to do that now, because you have so much to give and you are so needed, and the rest of the zodiac cannot lean on you the way that they, it seems, are going to need to if you continue to hide behind there. So I'm going to leave it there, Scorpio. This is quite an intriguing read, very deep read, obviously, because it's you lot. And I might do an extended on this, I think. Have a little look. Oh, I don't know. I might actually just see if any of you respond and say that you want an extended. If you want an extended, then I will record one for you, but I'm not going to just sit do one now. as ever, if the message has resonated in any way, I'd love it if you would leave a comment or, like the video or whatever. But take care and be gentle with yourself, Scorpio. There's an opportunity for real growth here that will benefit you in ways that you cannot possibly yet anticipate. But you need to do the work. And it seems like you're becoming open to that now. So best of luck, and I'll see you soon.